an anonymous function stored in a property. So how I can call an anonymous function? Like here is the constructor, then
Yes, sir.
sorry.
Sir, your screen is not.
Oh, 1 second. Actually, I've given you permission. That's why. I hope not visual.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you see here, function is there, construct, and then this dot bar equal to function, an anonymous function, and return something, right? So let us write this one. What the name of the class? Class foo. Class foo. Then public. I'm just declaring public dollar bar, right? Either you can initialize some value or you can just put the variable number properties name. It's your choice. Okay, guys. Then public, then function, then what do we write? The constructor we're writing. Construct, then I'm writing an anonymous function. What are doing here? This dot bar. Whatever is there, dollar this bar equal to, how to write the anonymous function? Function, we write the function here like this. Guys,
Yes, sir.
like this. Then,
Yes, sir.
then curly braces, then return some values I'm returning. So I have to put also here because this is the variable, right? Now what we did, create a new object. So I'm creating dollar obj equal to object of which foo, new foo. Okay, object is created, guys.
Yes, sir. Created.
Okay, cool. Now here is, I'm printing bar. So echo dollar obj and bar I'm calling. Dollar obj, then I'm calling what? Bar, right? And within that I'm calling the anonymous function. Clear, guys? I have to call this function to get this value 42, and which is assigning some value to the bar.
Yes, sir.
This one. So I will call this, but I have to also call this one, so that 42 will be assigned to this value, to bar. So I have to put this bracket to call the anonymous function. So if you see anonymous 42 is coming now.
Yes, sir.
So what happened? This is also a function, this is also a function. Both are function now. So function within function when called? when the first function was already called?
Then second function is called.
No, first this is the parent function. If this is only first should be called, then this can be called, na?
Yes, sir.
So when this was called, when he created the
Object.
object. So as this is already called, now I can call this function, right? So I can call this one by obj bar, and to call treat as a function, I will write this bracket, a small bracket. So not to worry about that, how to call a nameless function. You will try, you will get some idea. So I'm just giving some idea how a function within a function is calling. One function was already called by this one, and now I'm calling another function, a nameless function from here. Okay. Now come to the new point. Again, this properties and method we are going to talk about. The class member variables are called the properties. What are these properties? Variable 1, variable 2, variable 3, variable 4, variable 5. These all are what?
Properties.
Properties.
These all are properties. This is also property, this is also property, but something is there. You see, a properties can hold value here.
Yes, sir.
A property can hold this type of value also. Like here is the here doc, na? This one here doc. String one. Hope you remember here doc and now doc.
Sir.
It's also this also can hold this type of value. Property can also hold some expression like this, right? But property can't hold something like that. You write self and my some assigns calling some method from here. Property do not allow. Similarly, you can't put some variable to this property, right? Properties value can be constant, can be true false, also can be now doc. This is the now doc, right? A properties value can be static. So what is the meaning of declaring a variable static? We have already seen in one of the topic.
Value changes when the function calls.
Yes, it's not a reinitialize, right? So
Yes, sir.
this is the one static where 9. There is also possibility of read only int where 10. So this read only came from PHP 8.1. Previously this read only was not there in PHP, but it's a came only in 8.1 version of PHP. So they are defined using at least one modifier such as visibility static keyword, right? So visibility means whether this visibility will be public or protected or private. There are 3 types of visibilities are there. So I have written here public, 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 then here static, then here read only. It's a new type of visibility, read only. Clear, guys? Anybody any confusion on understanding the properties? I think it's always remember that either you can give some value to the properties, or you also choice to not give the values. Like if you see, I have not given value here, only giving value here when I'm calling the function, right? So this is just a standalone variable properties of this class foo. Now I can have some variable like public, like here is dollar var1 equal to something we can give hello, right? Public dollar var2 equal to 1 plus 2, something like this. This is the valid one, no problem. Public dollar var3, what else? That here doc and no doc, I think everybody know this one, right? This one, what is this one? What type of value this? Where it? Anybody?
No.
Sorry? Here doc, now doc, I have already explained you. So here only I'm giving idea of how many ways you can write the properties. That's it, right? So,
So in the previous slide, how is this variable 4 is declared? Can you please explain?
this one,
No, sir. No, sir. The current slide that where you were talking about how variables can be declared.
This one?
Yes, sir. This one.
here I'm trying to, within the properties, I'm treating this as a self and I'm calling a method here. So calling method like here is not allowed here. This is invalid property declaration.
Okay, sir.
Also, if you're trying to assign some variable to another variable here, which is not, I think, here in this list, this will also give the error. Right, guys?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So this is the invalid declaration. Basically it's just giving some idea what can be the invalid. So what it means, within class method, non-static properties may be accessed using this arrow operator. You use this one to access the properties, this operator.
Yes, sir.
And within the class, so we are within the class here, we are within the class here, right? And how I can access this one? Using
This.
This, and then whatever the property, where the property is the name of the property. So this is the property, whatever the property is there, name of the properties. So within the class, if you are trying to access a property, you should use
This keyword.
this and arrow, and then the property name. Static properties are accessed by using a scope double colon, like self colon property. Right, guys? If I'm declaring this, any variable static, right? So if I have to access within the class, right? Suppose I am accessing here. So how can I access? Self. You can write here dollar value equal to self, then what? right? And suppose that you want to use this one, use this, return this. You see what has happened? Property is static. How you can access within the class?
Using self, sir.
Using self.
Self.
If property is public or protected or private, how you can access? Using $this. You see, I use $this because this is the variable bar, but this is static. That's why I'm using this one.
Sir, we will remove the function before public. What will happen, sir?
Where?
Function before function.
Here,
Public, sir. Public will be removed. What happens?
by default, this will be public. By default, this will be public, right?
Okay, sir.
Constructor is itself by default public, no issue,
Okay.
right?
Yes, sir.
So, clear guys, how you can access the static variables or static property within the class?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now move on to the next point. So you are clear about these 2 points?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Where will you use the this?
In case of public
For
property.
non-static.
Non-static properties means public protected for private properties, right? Within
Function.
no class.
Class.
If you are trying to access any of the properties, these are the property now, and this combinedly known as the class, and even try to access this here in this function, you are also true within the function, but function of the class, right? So if you want to access any of the non-static properties, these are the non-static properties, you will always use this.
This.
And if you are accessing the static property, what do you have to use?
Self.
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 Cool. Now this pseudo variable, this is available inside any class method when that method is called from within the object context. $this is the value of the calling object. So what this means, what is the meaning of this? When we create the object, that is the meaning of that this. This is the object, right? This is in the context of what?
Current object.
Calling object, yes, calling object. Now, so previously it's not required to put here type of the variable, what is that, this is the integer or a string or something, but from PHP 7.4 this new property introduced, you can also write the type of the property, whether this property is integer or whether this property is string, and accordingly I can perform some actions. So if I declare this property as integer, and if I assign some value to this as a string, this will throw error. So here what basically you are doing, you are restricting. Got guys?
Restricting it, sir.
Restricting the data type. What type of data this can accept?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Like if I do not provide this int, this ID can accept any type of value, na?
Yes, sir.
But
Yes.
once I declare this integer, this now only can accept
Integer values.
The values.
integer values.
Integer values.
So type declaration is making your code more robust and stricter, like a Java language or .NET, where there is a type is always matters, right?
Yes, sir.
So could you just try this one, type declaration? I'm also trying, so you also try. What is the meaning? Create one class with a type declaration. So I am writing. Guys, you also should try it parallelly. I'm writing like class user. Class user, then dollar, sorry, public, then int, then I'm taking dollar ID, right? Then public, then string, then dollar name, right? Then I am calling a constructor, public function then construct, then as I have already declared the type, I have to use here also that type, int
Maybe
dollar.
construct spelling is wrong.
Oh, sorry, const, correct na? Then string dollar name, right? So once I'm creating any object and providing some ID and name, so dollar this ID equal to dollar ID, dollar this name equal to dollar name, right? Now my class is created, right? Now what I'll do, create object dollar user one object I'm creating. I will create new user. So if you see, this will be the first function, it will be called constructor will be first called now.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
So I am first this will be called, then it will also expect some values now, ID and name.
Yes, sir. Some parameters.
I'm typing J. Then if you try to print or echo dollar user ID, right? Let us see, type underscore demo, type hyphen demo. You see?
Yes, sir.
Now what will happen if I supply So I'm passing this number, but that's why it's working. But let's see what will happen.
Fatal error, sir.
Why?
Fatal error.
Because it is not of int type.
Not at int type. But if I remove this one, do you think this error will be still there?
No, sir, then it should work.
Yes, sir.
It will work. So this
Yes,
is
sir.
Yes, sir, it's working.
yes. So this is how we can restrict int sorry
String.
string int string. Now you see, just I'm trying to set the j and throwing error. Clear, guys? Are this working type declaration?
Yes, sir.
So again, this is the error. This will work because this is treating this as a string. Even this will treating as a string, no issue. But this should be the integer. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So add name, git name. Okay. So I can create something here like I can add more function. Public function add name. Instead of calling constructor, I can also at the time of constructor I am calling this one, right? So instead of calling at the time of constructor, I can also write my own method add name, right? So and this I'm not doing anything in the constructor part. So you can create object like this, right, guys? So how I can add the name? Dollar user1 slash for arrow id equal to what? Anything I can id I'm giving here 1001, right? Dollar user equal to j. Oh, oops, sorry. Here I'm not calling like this, it's a mistake. I have to call what function?
Add name.
Add name. And here I have to supply some values.
Yes, sir. So comma will be there. after
Yes, yes,
thousand.
yes. You see? So this way you can add name. Here I'm just passing this method and just writing this. Here it's getting, and suppose that you are saving data in the database, right? So you will call something like that, connect to DB, right? Here, and insert ID and name in user table, right guys? Suppose you have submitted a form, right? You have submitted a form and action was this type demo.php, and that form has only ID and
Name.
So once the form was submitted, suppose you have get ID user ID equal to, suppose the method was used post, right? And field in the form was you can take anything, user ID, right? And user name. So if form was submitted, you can get value like this, guys. You there?
Yes, sir, we can get value like this.
I am giving you some example how you can insert data from a form to database using the classes. So what we'll do, you have to insert method is written here, add name into database, or you can just add name, add user, right? Now instead of giving the fixed value, you can write this one here. You can do like this,
Yes, sir.
and your data will be saved in the database. Once I have code to connect to DB and insert table query here, it will save in the database now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I am giving you the idea how a class using a method, what method you have to always call to add a user, this method na.
Yes, sir.
So I have supposed that I have to display the user, public function show user, right? I am typing show user. What parameter needed? ID. I want to show user from database. $ID, right? What we will do? Here you will write $this ID equal to $ID, you can write, or you can omit, right? Now you can now connect to the database. Write some SQL queries, right? And get the record of this user ID. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you are searching. So basically searching, then then what function you will call if you want to get the information about the user? What function will call?
Show user.
So user.
Show
What?
user.
What will pass? Only user.
ID.
And you'll get the record, and then you'll write here return data. What is the data returned by the SQL query, right? Return data, and dollar data will come. I can print. This is in the context of connecting with the database. If you're connecting with the database, but if you're not connected, I'm just putting here echo. This is not needed basically. I'm not assigning. I'm just calling, so this is not needed. Echo. I'm just writing. ID is $ID dot name is dollar this what name, because value is here now. I'm assigning from here. So let me comment this one so that you will not get confused. Here I am using user ID 100, then username J, then I'm passing so user. So right now I have only this object, so I can directly call now from this object, this one. So user, if I'm sending fixed data, I can print like this now. Dollar this ID. Can we do this? See. ID is 100 and name is J. Why this is printing like this?
Because we call show user function.
So user function, and object has already, I have set this value na, ID and name for this object, for this user.
Yes, sir.
So I'm trying to access now values directly here. Here I have assigned. Now here what I'm trying to do? Access. So I'm just calling this function for this object, and I can get, just calling this function, I can print this one, right?
So
So you see how I can, if I have to save this data in database, I'll get the data in the from the where?
From post method, sir.
Yeah, post, get, request, whatever you will. Action will be what file?
Type demo.php.
Type demo.php. Once data will come, you can extract data in the variable like this.
Yes, sir.
Now you will create an object of which class? User.
Yes, sir.
To save data into database, I have to pass this as a parameter, call this function, and
yes, sir.
already written that two parameter required for the add user, right?
Yes, sir.
Then it will set these two values, this and this, to the values I am passing to the function, right?
Yes, sir.
And similarly, I can save this data into the what?
Database.
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 So you see how I am now we have started to work with the classes. Actual implementation I am showing you. So if you're creating an application which is like user management, what are the function can be? Add user, show user, or
Yes, sir. Delete user.
delete user. Yes, function
Update user.
delete user, right? So you delete user. What the parameter needed? That user ID.
Yes, sir.
When I'll call this function, I have to supply some information. What I want to delete.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Similarly, what other function can be? Update. Update. So what user I want to update? So show user, definitely here see I have omitted, but what user I want to show? So int dollar user ID. Which user I want to delete? Which user I am looking to update? So show user will also need some values.
User ID.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So delete, if I'm looking to delete some user, I have to click this one, delete user. If I have to update user, I will have to update the user, call function like this.
Yes, sir.
Now I've created a little smaller structure of class and different methods, and I'm calling these methods. Whatever I want to do, I'll call, and within that I can write the code to connect with the database, to look into the database, delete, and get some response. Like you can get here the response like dollar response. Maybe you are getting response from here. User successfully, or whatever value you're returning, you can print this successfully. If you returning 0, then not deleted, 1, then successfully deleted, something like that. Clear, guys?
Once explains a dollar response.
No. Suppose this is the function. I'm deleting something, right? So after doing lots of work, I'm writing some statements, right? First statement, suppose that I'm writing connect to get data from table user. I'm not writing actual query, right? I'm just writing some understanding how to you will use this type of functions when connect with the database. Get data from table user for dollar user ID, right? You will get check data. First we'll check now before deleting that if this user is existing or not existing.
Yes, sir.
If existing, then what will do? Delete that data, right?
Yes, sir.
Then I'm writing return if successfully deleted, return 1, right? So this will receive here now. If something
Yes, sir.
You have done something correctly.
Yes,
Now you want to return something from here na, on the basis of action. If you're returning, then you have to accept somewhere.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Understood? So,
Yes, sir.
on the basis of this, you can also write some message. If dollar response equal to 1, echo record successfully deleted,
deleted.
right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you see how we are now started to create actual applications.
Yes, sir.
These will be replaced when we start to work with MySQL query, right? I'm just writing some pseudo code or helpful some string what exactly we need to do here with the help of classes and what?
Objects.
Objects.
Classes and objects. So guys, this is clear now.
Yes, sir.
You will use like here where the constructor can be used. Suppose you are creating this a small application and you want to insert data into database, so you definitely you need connection with the database now, right?
Yes, sir.
So here,
Yes, sir.
here you can write the script for connect to what?
Database.
Database.
Because once object is created, you will need this one, database connectivity. Once database connected, you can perform any action, right?
Yes, sir.
So the constructor can be used here. Similarly, suppose you have to create some, you are managing some task, right? What are the action possible in a task management system? Add task, right? Sort task, task list, right? Update task, right? Guys, are you with me? Here, I think it should be something else. So already you add sort task. Am I audible? Hello, guys, am I audible?